Hello, everyone. We are the Sensus team. To start, I'd like you all to meet my good friend, Dean Geekus. When Dean was 34, he worked a stressful finance job in Boston and had to commute down I-93 every day from Windham, New Hampshire. This commute created difficulties for Dean in his daily life. At his demanding job, he wanted to be very focused, and at home, he wanted to be more relaxed with his wife. But each day on his commute, he found that being cut off and honked at in traffic really worked him up. After some of his most agonizing morning commutes, he found himself less agreeable and less productive at work. And certain traffic-filled evenings frustrated him on the drive home, such that he acted less affectionately towards his wife. He did tell me that sometimes he would combat the negative emotions he felt on the commute by playing classical music on the radio, and it really helped him calm down on the road. When I shared the story with my group, we knew that if we could build an emotionally aware system in the car to give the driver highly personalized recommendations based on their mood, we would really improve the stress-inducing part of many people's day. The chore of a daily commute is not something we need only to put up with. We believe we can actually improve our experience and enjoy these daily drives. Just like Dean, we all sometimes become emotional on the roads. In addition to adding stress into our lives, driving emotionally actually puts both us and the other drivers at risk. A naturalistic driving study found that drivers were 9.8 times more likely to crash when they were driving in a heightened emotional state, like anger or sadness. Unfortunately, almost all cars in use today do not have any systems to understand or respond to the driver's emotion in a way that could improve the driver's mood. So when thinking about our end user, we thought that people like Dean, who have longer commutes to work and see their daily commute as an additional stressor in their already overwhelming life, would really want some kind of emotionally intelligent and personalized system in their car. This is exactly what our team came together to create. To briefly introduce our team, we're made up of 2 university students, Kimia and Yusuf, and 2 high school students, myself, Wilder, and Shreya. Our wonderful mentor was Samiha, and we'd also like to thank our 2 floating mentors, Chris and Eve. Now Kimia will take over and introduce our solution.
So our proposed solution was to create a personalized content and action recommendation system based on the detected emotion of the driver in order to enhance their in-car experience and ensure their emotional well-being. So currently our system is made up of 3 main phases: the registration phase, the face ID and emotion detection phase, and finally the personalized recommendations. So beginning with the registration or onboarding phase, this is where the user gets to set up their account by setting their preferences and uploading an image of themselves to our database. Once they're registered and in the vehicle, we will run both Face ID and emotion recognition. And based on the most highly expressed detected emotions and the user ID, our system can access the database, similar to a lookup table, and provide relevant and specific content and action recommendations. In order to better understand our users and to hear their thoughts on such a system, we sent out a Google survey, and we received 60 responses from a wide range of ages and driving experiences. There was around 70% interest in such a product, and we also asked them questions like which emotions they most often felt while driving, the dominant emotion being anger, irritation. And they also told us about their top recommendation interests, which were music or radio recommendations, recommendations for physical relaxation like seat adjustments, and also climate control and interior lighting adjustments. We also received some very valuable comments from the survey takers. And we discovered there was a general consensus that many people don't like being told what to do by their car. They don't want to have to be demanded to undertake certain actions. So they would benefit more from an empathetic agent and gentle suggestions. Also, recommendations where there's minimal involvement of the driver as to not distract them. So to address this, we decided to incorporate the registration phase where drivers can create their personalized profiles, which will let them only receive the amount and type of recommendations they want and would be interested in. So then we began solution development. It all started with creating the emotion recognition model, where we built and trained our own convolutional neural network using TensorFlow and the popular FIR 2013 dataset. In order to detect emotions from the video input, we also integrated OpenCV to detect the faces. The second stage was to merge the Face ID component, where we used Python's face recognition library, which will compare the facial encodings of our registered users with new faces. So it'll be able to label someone as an existing user or an unknown. And finally, there was the recommendation system, which works with the user preferences and pictures stored in a data frame beforehand. Currently, the system doesn't use a machine learning engine. It works similar to a lookup table. And specifically, we used YouTube's API and JavaScript to add music recommendations. So to bring this all together, we created a simplified web application using Flask, and we also used a Python library for our voice agent. Due to limited resources and time, we weren't not able to integrate this into an actual vehicle, but we did create the simplified web application, and here's the demo.
Welcome, Yusef. My name is Sensus.
Welcome, Kimia. My name is Sensus, and I'll be your in-car support system for today. Let's have a great drive. Your most highly expressed emotion so far is anger. Playing non-copyrighted classical music.
At this moment, Sensus is not randomly playing classical music. Sensus knows what Camilla needs, so we can give it to her when she needs it. Sensus knows what all of us need from our profiles. Camilla needs classical music to calm her down, and I need electronic music to cheer me up, along with recommendations such as temperature, relaxation techniques, and interior lighting. A personalized recommendation system. Sensus.
And now Shreya is going to take over and talk about the current competitive landscape.
So we found that there were several automotive companies developing similar products, but each one is also somewhat different than what we are doing. Our competition breaks down into two main categories. Those who are developing more general monitoring systems to analyze cognitive states like drowsiness and distractedness, recognize objects or children left behind, which includes companies like Affectiva and their occupant state technology, Guardian Optical, Iris, and Smart Eye. What sets us apart is that rather than a generalized understanding of the driver, occupants, and surroundings, our technology has a specific focus on improving the driver's emotional state through personalized recommendations from their profile. The second group includes companies who also use biometric monitoring systems and other modalities to develop personalized adjustments for added comfort during the drive, such as Hyundai Kia's Read System, EyeSight, and Sensum. What sets us apart is how our technology can be easier implemented in modern-day cars without any intrusive biometric sensors. Much of the technology from these companies requires special cars or steering wheels, and these companies work strictly with OEMs and car manufacturers, rather than making a product that can be installed in vehicles on the road today. One competitor that didn't fit into these groups was Cerence, which makes a personalized, empathetic voice agent. What sets us apart is that we focus our voice agents strictly on responding to the driver's emotions, while they take a more general approach by understanding the driver's routines and habits. For the continuation of Sensus, there are three main areas upon which we will improve. The first area concerns the recommendation system. In order for drivers to set up profiles, we will develop a mobile or web application for the registration phase. We will continue to use this platform for Sensus until we can work with automotive hardware engineers to actually integrate the system into vehicles. The actual recommendation system will be replaced with a more advanced model that could keep a log of the user adjusting, so approving or disapproving of the outputted recommendations in order to effectively bring the user back to their comfort zone. Our next focus would be on the voice agent and the emotion detection model. We want to enable speech to text to allow for conversations and rapport building between the user and the in-car empathetic agent. As for the emotion recognition model, we would replace it with a multimodal model that also takes into account the voice, words, and gestures of the user when detecting emotion. The final area focuses on Sensus's relationship with the vehicle. Once we integrate Sensus in vehicles, we will use the vehicle data and the emotion data together to predict a measure of safety and danger. For example, if a vehicle is swerving and anger is detected in the user, this presents a very dangerous situation. We could also take into account external cues, like traffic or if the user is on the phone or in a conversation, into consideration when deciding if it's an appropriate time to give recommendations as to not distract or irritate the driver. Progressing in this direction will allow us to sense a safer way to safety. Thank you for listening. We are very grateful for your time and are now ready for questions.